Godzilla vs. Kong is out now. I have a spoiler-free review that is up on my channel. I wanted to talk more in depth about Godzilla vs. Kong. I feel like with big blockbusters, I'm going to try and do a spoiler-free and a spoiler review. I might not be able to get to a spoiler review for every single blockbuster, but this is one that I definitely wanted to talk about a little bit more. I want to talk a little bit more about the motivations of the monsters, what some of the humans are doing, even though I could give two shits about what the humans are doing in this movie. I wanted to let you guys know who the winner of the actual throwdown was. So this is going to be a spoiler review for Godzilla vs. Kong. If you have not seen it in theaters or on HBO Max, this is your warning to turn away. Watch that now. Watch these two titans throw down. Have some fun watching this movie. Grab a bucket of popcorn. Grab your friends. Bicker amongst each other who's going to win, Godzilla or Kong, and then watch the movie and have some fun. Arguing at the Kong fans saying that Kong was going to win because Godzilla beats his ass twice. That's right. Team Godzilla. Yep. Give him a round of applause. They fight twice in the movie. Godzilla beats his ass twice. I swear to God, poor Kong. He got like 3 heart attacks in this movie. How did he survive until the end of the movie? The human characters, I'm just calling them the human characters because I have no idea what their goddamn names are. The human characters literally have to take, after the second fight between Godzilla and Kong, Godzilla's off fighting another monster, who I'll get into in a minute. But Kong is like, he's just wiped out. He's like, I've had enough of this guy. This is my 3rd heart attack today. I must have eaten too many cheeseburgers. So he's just lying on the ground, and the human characters decide, all right, let's take one of those military aircrafts that we have called the Heaves, fly it onto Kong, and give him what is the equivalent of an adrenaline shot so he can go and help Godzilla take down Mechagodzilla! Yeah, Mechagodzilla's in this movie. Here's my thing. I was fine with Mechagodzilla in this movie, and I do like the way that they weave Mechagodzilla in here. I think it makes sense that they took the skull of King Ghidorah from King of the Monsters. They use like neural wavelengths to like be able to like control Mechagodzilla, and they created Mechagodzilla out of that. But then Ghidorah's like consciousness takes over Mechagodzilla, so now he's like self-conscious, and he's fighting Godzilla, and then Kong comes in and helps Godzilla fight Mechagodzilla. Okay, I get that. But here's my thing. I would think it would be more beneficial to a movie like this, especially one titled Godzilla vs. Kong, to have King Ghidorah in this movie, I would assume. Maybe you could have had Rodan in King of the Monsters and another monster in King of the Monsters. Maybe they could have even done Mechagodzilla in King of the Monsters. But I would feel like where these movies attempt to outdo each other, where they attempt to get bigger, but not necessarily better, even though they think they're getting better, they do get bigger. From what we know, this is the culmination of the Monsterverse. I really don't know how they could go on from here. So I would think you would want to save your biggest, baddest monster for last, and that would be Ghidorah, you know, more evil Smog, the thing with 3 heads that was in King of the Monsters that Godzilla was able to defeat. That was, in a way, my thing. I thought to myself, I really don't get how you could go from Ghidorah to Mechagodzilla. But I think Mechagodzilla works because this is more of a self-aware movie than King of the Monsters was, and more of a Saturday morning or Saturday matinee flair to it with Mechagodzilla than I think King of the Monsters did. King of the Monsters took itself a little bit too seriously. So looking back on it now, it's kind of 50-50 for me. I would have liked to have seen King Ghidorah in this movie, but seeing Mechagodzilla was just as satisfying, although I really don't understand something. How does Godzilla beat Kong's ass twice, but yet he gets beat by a robot? Kong single-handedly comes in and just rips Mechagodzilla's head off like it's nothing. Like, he just uses that axe that he gets earlier in the movie at Hollow Earth, and then he just, like, slices Mechagodzilla in half, like, a whole bunch of times and just rips his head apart. Godzilla and Kong really like ripping monsters' heads off, huh? There's a sequence that takes place on Hollow Earth that resembles Skull Island, so Kong's there, he's fighting some creatures, and he just takes one of these creatures' heads, rips it off. I was like, oh, this is winning me over for Kong right now, man. Like, and that's what I'm talking about. The movie focused a lot more on Kong. They have to go to Hollow Earth, and he gets this weapon that's essentially like this axe that's like one of the spines from Godzilla's like species, and you find out that the ancestors of Kong and Godzilla were in like this ancient war and they fought, and now there's like this axe that Kong can get that can beat Godzilla. I thought that that was actually pretty cool. That was actually a really unique part of the story that I wasn't expecting. Still doesn't take away from all the other bullshit aspects of the story, but I did like the investigation with Brian Tyree Henry, Millie Bobby Brown, and annoying Deadpool 2 kid. That was the one where it seemed like they knew exactly what they were going to do with that, where it seemed like every other story beat just kept going in different directions, and they didn't really know where to go, and then they're like, okay, we finally reached the destination after going through like a maze that we couldn't get out of, and we're finally here. Are you guys hungry? I'm hungry. There's a McDonald's right over there. Let's just go get 5 Big Macs, then we'll do our job and get the hell out of here. Oh wait, we're all gonna die in 5 minutes. Because every human character in this movie is expendable. You find out that like this guy who's the head of Apex, what is it, Cybernetics? Is it Apex Industries? Apex? I have no idea, but his name is like Walter Simmons as Demian Bashir. He's the one that ultimately puts Mechagodzilla like online. He's like the architect behind it. He's just this really greedy human who's just like, yeah, it's time for the humans to become the alpha species again. His whole thing is that he's building Mechagodzilla to bring Godzilla out of hiding so that Godzilla can attack Apex Cybernetics, so it can make it look like he's actually starting to attack human beings and attack different places of the world, and so it makes Godzilla look like the bad guy, even though he was the good guy in the previous 2 Godzilla films. It's weird. It's like human greed. Like, I like the idea that Godzilla's just pissed off. He's like, alright, stop messing with me. I know what you guys are doing at this facility. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna attack it. I know exactly what's going on there, but oh hey, oh shit, Kong's here? Oh, I beat his species millions of years ago. You're in my way? Alright, step aside, puny gorilla. 2 punches and you got 3 heart attacks. I took you 2 times. Once in the water and once in Hong Kong, and I won them both. How about that, bitch boy? I just love the idea that Godzilla's pissed off and Kong's just standing in his way, so he's like, I really have like no other choice than to fight Kong here, so yeah, I'm gonna go toe-to-toe with Kong. Mechagodzilla gets loose, and then he starts fighting Godzilla. He's got like Godzilla and like a bunch of headlocks and all that. And again, how is Godzilla losing to this thing? It's a freaking robot! Like, seriously, it's Mecha Godzilla. It is not actual Godzilla. It is not a clone of Godzilla. If it were a clone of Godzilla, it would be called Clone Godzilla. It's Mecha Godzilla. It's a damn robot. How does Godzilla beat Kong and lose to a robot? I already said that, but I'm still flabbergasted. But that was like part of the conspiracy. Apparently Brian Tyree Henry like worked for Apex Cybernetics, and he knew that there was like something going on in there, so he went to investigate on like this level like 33 or something. I don't know, it was something like that. I think that was like their attempt to show like the greedy side of human beings, as if already beat us over the head with like human greed already. Like, yeah, we get it, the humans suck, just kill them all in these movies. Like, I don't care. Nobody will latch on to. Alexander Skarsgård is in this movie. He's like an author. I don't really know what the hell that had to do with anything, but I didn't care one bit. Rebecca Hall was in a way somewhat fleshed out, I guess. She adopted Gia, the deaf child that can interact with Kong and is actually the best human in the movie. By far the best of the new characters, and I loved her interactions with Kong, like how she had certain sign language and she would call him coward. I loved all that. Itza Gonzalez is the daughter of Demian Bashir's character, Walter Simmons. I'm actually surprised I remember his name, and I'm surprised I remember her name in this. There's nothing to her. She's one of those people that goes with Rebecca Hall, Alexander Skarsgård, and Gia. I'm surprised I remember that name too. That take Kong to Hollow Earth, and then it's just like, you're trying to figure out exactly what her motivations are for the whole movie, because she just shows up and she's like, hey, I'm such and such, and oh yeah, you got Kong tied up, okay. I'm like, what are you doing here, lady? And then you find out she's like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm working for my father. It was so gratifying when Kong actually just squashed that like spacecraft shuttle of hers that heave like in his hands, and like those humans died. I was like, oh good, I didn't care about them at all, thank God. There's not really much more to talk about in terms of spoilers with Godzilla vs. Kong, but I guess I just wanted to tell you guys that Godzilla beats Kong, but Kong beats Mechagodzilla. And like thinking about it more, I did like some of the story beats. Like, I love the beginning where Godzilla just attacks Apex Cybernetics. Because I was thinking to myself, Godzilla might have the brain of a pea, but he's doing this for a reason. It was actually a nice change of pace to see a pissed off Godzilla compared to the Godzilla that that fought for humanity, that was more of like an anti-hero in the past 2 Godzilla movies. It was interesting to see a different change of pace with Godzilla and to see how he would interact and fight with Kong. The movie focused more on Kong, and initially that was a problem with me because I really wanted a teeny bit more Godzilla. I think Godzilla is in the movie as much as he is in King of the Monsters. I think he's got that amount of screen time. He's definitely in it more than he is in Godzilla 2014. That's the one where he has the least amount of screen time. But thinking about it now, focusing more on Kong made more sense. We already had 2 movies with Godzilla. We've only had 1 movie with Kong. Let Kong have a little bit of time to shine. And the movie is actually starting to get me to pull towards Kong's side because I was like, I like what Kong's doing. I love how he has this little like sign language interaction with Gia. It reminded me of like how he interacts with humans and other versions of King Kong, like the Peter Jackson King Kong, how he interacted with like Naomi Watts' character. It reminded me of that, and then him just going to get like the axe that could beat Godzilla in Hollow Earth, this place that you get to from Antarctica that has an area that looks like Skull Island. I thought that that was interesting in terms of the story. The humans populating the movie and serving as plot devices for the story is where I had a point of contention with the movie and some bad dialogue. Like when Millie Bobby Brown's group, the 3 of them, when they meet Demian Bashir and he shows off Mechagodzilla. Brian Tyree Henry's like, oh my god, it's like Robot Godzilla, and then the annoying Deadpool 2 kid is like, it's not Robot Godzilla, it's Mechagodzilla. I'm like, yeah, no shit, it's the same thing. It's a robot. Just shut up. Go away. I didn't like you in the Christmas Chronicles 2 either. It made you the villain in that movie. I have no idea why. I also thought it was weird that they had the son of Ken Watanabe's character playing a villainous character, because Ken Watanabe in the previous 2 Godzilla movies never came across as a villainous character. So it was really weird to see his character's son almost in a way controlling Mechagodzilla before like Ghidorah's like conscious became like self-aware. And the way that like they're able to weaken Mechagodzilla I thought was stupid. Annoying Deadpool 2 kid pours like beer or like a can of Coke on some like control mechanism and that like ruins everything. I'm like, this kid again. So yeah, that weakened it. I guess that's what helped Kong defeat Mechagodzilla so easily after Mechagodzilla beat Godzilla's ass. So there's just things like that where I was just like, it's like, come on, we don't really need this. But I mean, there were times where I was interested. I think the times where I was interested in the story is when it focused on Kong going to like Hollow Island, or him taking down Mechagodzilla, or the fact that he's on Skull Island in the beginning, but like he's in this giant bubble. And I was like, how did we get here? I feel like they didn't really fill in the gaps all that much, but I do like the sense of intrigue and mystery there where it's like, okay, he's on Skull Island. How is there this giant bubble? He's just in a giant dome on Skull Island being monitored by Monarch. I don't know, the whole Monarch thing in this whole monster universe has always gone over my head. It was one of my least favorite aspects. It still is. And the human characters in this movie just prove that. It just felt like there was something missing, and I think it's because we didn't have an actual second Kong movie before this movie to explain how he got into that bubble dome on Skull Island. But I do like the sense of intrigue, I guess. I guess it's left up for our interpretation. We just know that Monarch is monitoring him. That's really all I have to say in terms of spoilers for Godzilla vs. Kong. Just wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about the movie, about some stuff that I liked, some stuff I didn't like. The monster fights in general were awesome. The Hong Kong fight, nothing topped that in the movie. The one in the water between Godzilla and Kong, I thought that was really unique because Godzilla brings Kong into the water, and at one point they're like fighting underwater, but then when Godzilla rises from the water, it's that scene from the trailer where Kong just sucker punches him, and he really throws the first punch when they're on land. That's a good fight, but no fight in this movie matched up to Godzilla vs. Kong and Hong Kong. That was awesome. The Mechagodzilla fight felt very underwhelming and very short compared to that fight, but it is what it is. I had fun with certain story beats. I just wish they weren't populated by humans so much, and the humans weren't as prominent plot devices as they were in this movie. I like the idea that Godzilla is somewhat of a plot device, and Kong is more of a plot device and a huge focus, compared to the humans, but they're still there and they're still shitty characters. I didn't like a single one of them, honestly, but that is my spoiler review for Godzilla vs. Kong. Now that you have probably seen the movie after you watch this, I want your feedback on the movie and what is your favorite MonsterVerse movie. Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.